So in this video, I'm going to be showing you how I use my old MacBook to turn it into a Windows machine without needing a second computer. So if you're a Mac user like me, I'm sure you've run into the exact same problem at some point. You try to install a piece of software and suddenly it says Windows only. And you're sat there thinking, do I really need to get another laptop just to use this one piece of software? I've been there multiple times. This happens in multiple industries, especially in my industry in e-learning. I've come across loads of different tools and software which are only compatible to Windows. And before we continue, if you are new here, good to see you. My name is Charlotte. I love to bring you different content in AI, e-learning and tech trends. If you do want to hear more from me, then do hit that subscribe button to be updated with all my new content. Okay, let's get straight into it. So as someone that works mainly with a MacBook Pro every single day, I've come across different tools where it has said you're only allowed to use these with a Windows device. And that's where Parallels Desktop comes in. I'm going to be showing you how it works, why people use it and how to set it up. So first, let's go over issues that Mac users generally run into. MacBooks are great for a lot of things. They're powerful, they're portable, and a lot of creative professionals prefer Mac OS. But there's still a huge amount of software that's just designed for Windows. For example, in a lot of corporate environments, you have tools like Microsoft Visio, Microsoft Project, Power by Desktop, and these are very common if you're in businesses. It's not something I particularly use, but it's a lot of softwares that companies do come across. Visio is used to create processes, maps, and flowcharts, which companies use to create, workflows. And then you have Microsoft Project, which is used for like project planning, timeline, task management, and resource planning. And then you have by Desktop, which is used for like data analysis and dashboards, which is a lot of what teams rely on, for example, for tracking performance. But the problem is these tools and softwares don't have a Mac version. So you either need to get a Windows laptop or find a way of running Windows on your Mac. So how Parallels works, it allows you to literally have like a Windows device on your laptop. And this isn't like where it's kind of weird and you're like, this is not possible. Like, will I actually have, compatibility? Will my laptop be powerful enough? But what I can do is basically I press a play button and all of a sudden Windows is on my device fully. I'm no longer using Mac and I can easily switch back to Mac at any point. And I've compared this as well to other Windows devices. So I do actually use Windows at work. So I wanted to check whether, the quality is degraded, for example, and literally the Windows look exactly the same quality, which is good to know. So before we continue, I just want to say a massive thank you to the sponsors of this video, Parallels. I love being able to share, products that I already use. I will pop the link in the description below if you do want to check out Parallels. As a free trial you can try, which is what I used originally. And then I decided, to go to the paid versions. Okay, so let's now have a look at what Parallels actually does in more detail. So Parallels is basically a virtual tool inside your machine. So basically it's an app that you can switch between Mac and Windows at any point. You can even copy and paste between systems, and you can also decide which one you want to do screen recording on. For example, Mac tends to, for example, have better screen recording, so I will switch back to that, and then I go back to Windows for the other stuff. You can also share files between them. Let's say you move a file from Windows to Mac, you can do that as well. It's basically like having two operating systems on one computer without needing to reboot. And you're thinking, two systems, Charlotte, my laptop's gonna heat up and it's just not gonna work. Surprisingly, it's done well. And considering that I'm using an old MacBook Pro Intel chip, and you've probably seen from my other videos, I'm thinking to get rid of it just because of other reasons, but I've actually been able to use it just about okay on my old MacBook Pro. So if you do have one of the newer M series, you'll absolutely be fine. So I'm going to show you how I got all set up. So as I said, I went for the free trial and I downloaded Parallels Desktop from their website. They offer a free trial, so it's great because you can just test it before committing. And then once you install, the setup process walks you through installing Windows on your Mac. When you do open Parallels up, Windows 12 will pop up and then you just need to click a play button and all of a sudden Windows is there. So after you're set up, you can then just start installing, any Windows softwares that you might need. And the nice thing is you can still work on your Mac OS at any time. So one thing to be very cautious about is your storage. So if you don't have much storage, then Parallels won't be able to install. So in order for me to use Parallels, I'm running off my SSD. There is a process you do need to follow with the SSD. So for example, you need to make sure that when you go into the settings that you do select the external hard drive. Otherwise, you will not be able to proceed through. It will keep saying storage full. So if you do have that issue, just make sure to check that as well. So what Macs can use this? Pretty much all Macs. It's just whether you have the right storage. There are really old laptops that maybe don't work, but generally the new M series should have no issues downloading Parallels. So I'm curious from you, have you had Windows softwares that you've used in the past and you're thinking, I really wish that they would add, a Mac version? Let me know in the comments below. And it's actually surprising how many industries actually rely on Windows. Most jobs that I've come across, they always give you a Windows device, but generally the Mac is always better when you're using like Adobe Suite or heavy video editing software. Still, a lot of companies are leaning more towards Windows. Why do you think that could be? This is not just business tools, it's all over the spectrum. So for example, in engineering design, you've got softwares like AutoCAD, which is kind of used for like architectural drawings and technical plans, and SolidWorks is used for like product design and engineering and modeling. And then you have accounting as well. QuickBooks is only on Windows device, and you've got Sage 50 as well. Me personally, with e-learning, you've got Articulate 360 Storyline only used on a Windows, as well as iSpring, which is built into PowerPoint. So if you do come across a situation where you can only use Windows, hopefully this video is able to help you so you can have options so that you can see whether you do need a new laptop or you do need to get another external hard drive, or whether you could just simply add a Windows machine like Parallels and that will do the job for you. For me, this has been so useful because I really don't want to have two different laptops. I really do love using Mac. So if there is a way to work around it, then definitely, I'm going to continue to do so. And if you did like this video, do give me a like. Don't forget to subscribe for more of my videos where I share lots of different AI, e-learning and tech trends. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.